Yeah,
as
that's
more
Matt.
residents
That
are
is his
considered
house.
to be in a high-risk flood zone.
That was based on almost a 10-year survey. They determined
It's crazy.
that many more homes than first thought are at high risk for flooding. And they were rated as not being in flood zones.
Hector Calzadia is an insurance agent with decades of experience.
For about 21 years,
He tells us why tens of thousands of homeowners across Broward and Miami-Dade received an unpleasant surprise in the mail. A letter telling them they now need to buy flood
That's Matt's
insurance.
fingers.
But some of these
And
homes
belly.
added back into the zones never see flooding. Has the city ever asked you
What?
anything about that?
Oh
That's
my
his
God.
backyard.
Homeowners like Matthew Malone are furious about
Chrissy,
how
get out of the way.
I'm recording, relax.
says he simply does not need. The flood line,
I got it.
according to what your flood insurance is saying, is that it starts over there.
It goes through my front patio, about maybe 20% of my front corner of the house, and that's it.
That it never floods here. You've lived
Right.
here for decades. And at this point, I mean, you have no choice.
Well, I called the city, and the guy never called me back until about a month and a half later, which by that time I already had paid for the flood insurance.
So we brought in the experts. Carl Kennedy is a city engineer for the city of Pembroke Pines.
If the flood zone crosses any part of the house, then the entire house is in the flood zone. If the flood zone just crosses the front part of the property here and not the house, then they would not be considered to be in a flood zone. They can get out of the flood zone by submitting a form to FEMA.
Carl agreed to review Matt's elevation levels.
So they changed it.
You should have answers soon. To check if you're in a flood zone, you can always go to FEMA's website.
Hey, you didn't tell us
Thanks,
about
Julie.
that.
That is great.